Send a special shout out to everybody that has been very positive about not only my experiences, but also the fact that things are a little bit different. I've been working real hard to finally get some good Wi Fi so we could do some good streams. And I wasn't going to miss going live with you all. I do have a packed schedule today with McLaren, with Smart Sheet. I'm going to be running from pretty much like almost 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., which is 2200 in military time, which you all know I use quite often. But we're still going to go over this. Um, as it sits right now, power unit used up until this point, and I don't think we're going to see many of these start to increase unless there is a situation like we kind of saw in practice, and we'll get to that. I think right now we're definitely on the tail end of the season. Max has already clinched the 2022 championship, but right now there is a cost cap cloud hanging over the entire GP. Not to say that it's diminished any of the wow and the pop of the Texas GP, but it's definitely been overbearing as far as a lot of situations concerned. And then before then, we had the W Series, rest of their season being canceled, and of course that was bad news and unfortunate for them. And I do think quite a stain on the sport as a whole. I hope that thing gets fixed. But let's get into these power units. So right now we know Mercedes is over one on all of the major categories. Okay, ICEs, TCs, MGUH, and MGUK. They are one over on that category. I don't know if it's going to be likely they're going to take another penalty to upgrade a PU unless they're trying to collect data for something and they want that maximum power, that situation to happen. So, other than that, I don't really see them going over without situation. And that goes for the rest of these teams. I don't really see them going over unless they have an accident, a DNF, or something fail to the point where they have to do that. I don't think that's their concern at this point in time. Although, don't get it wrong, teams are still trying to win, right? So it's not like these teams aren't trying to win. What's going on, Blue Diva, Galacticus, Mary Beanie? What's happening, fam? Yes, I'm up in here. I'm trying to spend time with you all before I get sucked into this awesome day that we're going to go about. I will be with McLaren and Smart Sheets. I will be with Smart Sheets and McLaren pretty much all day. I'm trying to get some video. Some things are very sensitive, especially when it comes to the teams and their preparations to get ready to go out into the grid and things start getting up on screens. So definitely they've been working with me. They've been really supportive. A very, very, very different, very enlightening experience, even with Smart Sheets, and we'll get into that on another episode because I'm gonna talk about my day, and my time at Cota. But right now, we're gonna talk about some of these power unit elements, and I want to make sure I say good morning to everybody. So we got Red Bull. Max is over on everything. Okay, he's over in everything, especially over on ICEs. Now you got to remember with these major categories, we're talking about three tops in ICEs, TCs, MGUH, and MGUK. Energy storage too, and control electronics, and also the exhaust. You get like eight. So there's only a few people on this list that are over eight, or maybe a couple, and then some people are right there at the line. They're sitting on the fence before they fall over. Perez is still under on some of those, but he's right there at the line. He walks anymore, he will be taking grid penalties. And then you come on down to Ferrari. Ferrari, we know, have had a pretty rough season as far as not only driver mistakes, but also the team itself making mistakes and power unit failures. Okay, Ferrari have no, I have not seen Lewis yet, but I have not seen Lewis yet in person. But I can tell you this: I have seen Lewis move through the paddock in video when I had left, and I'm telling you, when Lewis moves through the paddock, he's moving through the paddock. It's like a boom, it's out of there. So not to say it won't happen. If it does, it does. It's still, the experience is great in itself. I'm pretty sure in some time I will get to meet Lewis Hamilton and hopefully have a sit down and talk with him on the podcast to be on top of that. But like I was saying, like this situation with Ferrari, we saw their power units failing across the grid with customers, even in their own team. So they've had a rough season, and it's nobody else's fault but their own. You got to remember, in racing, really, there's no good luck or bad luck. It's just, are you prepared? Did you build the right machineries? Do you have the right specs? Do you have the right strategies in place? And if you don't, you'll pay the penalty. And if you do, you'll be rewarded. There's really not like a good luck and bad luck. It's just who's prepared. The six P's. All right. I always say piss poor performance. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. If you apply those six P's and you can nail them, then you're going to have good performance. If you can't apply those six P's and you fail at some of those six P's, then your performance is going to be a reflection of what your preparation was. And Ferrari definitely has been a reflection of what their preparation was and what their strategies have not been. And we'll get down to McLaren, as you see right there. Lando's over one on his. I don't really see them taking any more penalties like so. But when you come down to Alpine, they're definitely over on Fernando's position on his car. Ocon is just over on his. AlphaTauri's over. The only teams right now that are sitting right on the fence that aren't looking at any penalty. They're looking at a penalty if they go one more, but right now they're sitting pretty clear, and that's going to be Williams and Aston Martin. And of course, Aston Martin has underperformed in what we would think Aston Martin should do. Williams, I think to me this season, like I said, Williams, Haas done a little bit better. Haas, definitely, I think those teams have done better in the lieu of the new regulations and everybody finding their way. Now, next season, after all these teams collect this data and they go into the offseason, they go into testing, this is where we might start seeing a bit more separation between our traditional lower grid teams and our mid and upper grid teams. These teams are going to get ready to go into a think tank, and we are going to see I really think there's going to be a complete difference in the way these cars are going to be running next season. And I honestly do believe that. And I also had an opportunity to talk to Zach Brown last night, like literally have a personal conversation with him. Just me and him talking in the corner. We talked about several things. Some of those things I'm not going to divulge on this platform out of respect for Zach, out of respect for McLaren, and out of respect for my own self and professionalism. There are just some things that you just don't do, and you don't betray a relationship that you're building. But Zach and I talked about several different topics as to McLaren, the cars, the drivers, even Piastri. We talked to Zach has some awesome ideas when it not only comes to diversity, but when it comes to actually pure racing of the motorsport. I will say one thing that he did say, and I don't think he'll have a problem with me saying this, is Zach's point of view is I am concerned about what is better for the sport and moving forward, not just today. And that was something that he definitely was adamant about. And I think that's a better perspective. And I've said that to you all many times talking here on this platform. Like the petition, everything, it's about what's better for the sport. Like these future drivers, the future teams, the teams as it all sits. Like if this cost cap situation, that's a very slippery slope, and we're going to get into that. But also I want to make sure I don't miss any super chats, make sure I don't miss anybody in the chat. All right, so no super chats yet, so I don't have anything to read right there. But we'll come on down. Alfa Romeo, boom, they're over. Valtteri's car they've had a rough season as well, and more so power unit failures. And you got to remember what power unit, what manufacturer power unit are they using? They're using Ferrari, so they also have suffered in like continuity with the whole Ferrari situation. Alfa Romeo has suffered because of that, but Joe has suffered and had a real rough rookie season. We saw the incident he said had at Silverstone. Thank God that it wasn't life. It was life threatening, but he did not lose his life. And I'm glad he's still here. Joe has swag. He's still here. I think he's showing a bit of promise. I hope to see him progress next season, given that Alfa Romeo. But you got to remember, Alfa Romeo might be on their way out. Audi's going to be on their way in. The Cyber chassis will have a new customer or a new theme. We've seen the Audi car. I want to see how that will kind of correlate with Valtteri and Joe given there. And we already see Haas, they're over as well with K Mag and Mick. Mick is more over on his cassettes than his power units. And I think Mary Beanie, big shout out for the super chat. She says, Jay, I think I can speak for the whole family. We are so proud of you getting your opportunities, taking the bull by the horns. Lures for pole, please. And Mary, I am so proud and excited and just I'm just in awe and appreciative of having the community and the family I have here. I really do appreciate you. You all have been sending positive vibes. You've been sending support, encouragement the entire time I've been here. I had no idea that me coming here to get involved with more of the community and the outreach and just do some Formula One content was going to lead to the understanding that McLaren has been viewing the content. McLaren has recognized me. They have um they definitely appreciate what I stand for and what I do and me being me. And more than that, Smart Sheets themselves is an entirely different vibe of an entity. It's not even an entity. It's more of a family. Like we had a dinner last night, and I'm going to have a dinner tonight, and I'll be eating with Lando and McLaren and the team. But it's not like a business dinner. It's like a family oriented situation here. So you have to be very careful of judging books by their cover, and also be understanding and have the integrity to say, hey, I had the wrong perspective. let me share this with you and keep moving. So big shout out to Mary Beanie. I got another super chat. Let me check that out. Because I will also have to make a breakfast here in a little bit, but I got to spend time with the fam first. Galacticus says, McLaren new digital ad system, it looks cool. I'm going to tell you like this, McLaren is leading the way in a lot of other things. They are definitely wanting to hear what can be new, what can be done, and what could be different. And you got to remember, think about all the different type of sports McLaren has involved themselves in. They're in Formula One, we know that. Now they're in Indy, we've seen that. They're in XC, Extreme Electric, we've seen this. But you also have to remember they're in Formula E and they're in E Motorsports. So they're Formula E and they're like everywhere. McLaren is not playing any games when they do say, and you heard they are literally working to establish themselves as that premier team across the globe. And then they're doing it in so many ways by action. So definitely McLaren is doing some cool things. So be on the lookout for that. Um, What's up, Otto Haas? Morning, Wolfpack fam. It's go fast today. Listen, like Mary said, I think that it is possible that we could see Mercedes top three, maybe top three. I think that's possible that we could see the top three because some of the things and some of the changes they've implemented, and we're going to go into that because that has quite been a stir, right? That's been something. Sean, big shout out for the super sticker, bro. Bravo. I appreciate you on that super sticker. Sean and Dave and Mary and Sylvia Wick, y'all really been bigging up me. Y'all really been encouraging me. I really do appreciate all that. So let me make sure I pay homage to everybody that's doing the super chats right now. And I think we got another super chat down here. I don't want to miss anybody before I get into the. Okay, cool. So no more super chats. Remember, if you see do a super chat, super like, I'll see it. Make sure I read it. Mary's really good at making sure that I don't miss because I've missed her a couple of times, and I'm really kind of sensitive on that. I don't want to miss Mary, especially. All right, but let's talk about this because we went through the power units. Y'all see where the scale is. I don't think many teams are going to really go over that unless they have to at this point. Don't get it twisted. Like, I'm not saying teams are not going to be competitive. Teams are still going to be competitive. Even though Max and Red Bull have clinched that championship in driver, they still probably want to pair that up with a constructors championship. And other teams probably want to see if they can put a stain on it if they're in the vicinity of doing that by points. And there are only two teams right now that I could see that even remotely possibly happening, and that's going to be Mercedes or Ferrari if it happens. But it could be quite possible that Red Bull pairs their driver championship with a constructors championship. So, you're just going to have to live with that. That is what it is. But let's talk about somebody who made their return to Formula One by way of practice, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't.
I don't know, but
here we go.
Until then, it looked like he was doing all the right things on the right line. But
most American that I've seen this car look or this team look at all this day. And I gotta say,
I don't know, but
that's probably not.
Until then, it looked like he was.
Like, this is the way he's coming in, and this is gonna bring me to my point that I've spoke about not only this weekend, but I've spoken about this previously. Why is it that we don't think, or we can constantly see people in the comment section throw shade on the fact that Jamie Chadwick, Paul Visser should have an opportunity in a Formula One, have an opportunity to eventually appear in Formula One if they can prove themselves in Formula 3 and 2. I don't care. Yes, we know the cars are different. We just saw Logan Sargent bring it up and say that his F2 experience by far did not compare to the Formula One experience. It was completely different. That is going to be the case. Every time you move in something, like, do you think you're going to go from the G League to the NBA and that's going to be the same? Do you think you're going to go from the XFL to the NFL and that's going to be the same? No, there's always going to be that difference, that separation of speed, that separation of equipment, that separation of everything involved to be the greatest you can be in that prospective sport. But what people are discounting is, how do you say and you don't think that Jamie Chadwick could have the ability to make that crossover? That's my problem with a lot of people. You say this, she can't do it because she's a woman, because she's a female. And that's where I would indict you and say that you are damn for sure incorrect. I'm not going to cut her short by any means. She's a championship champion in her own sport. She deserves the opportunity to move up. Move her into F3, move her into F2, and somebody needs to get behind her and support her financially, just like you do these other drivers that we've seen plenty of times not even make it up to the level. Okay, we have a pure and great and good example in Latifi. We called him Crash TV because of the things that he's done and the good things he hasn't done. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to. I will see it in my comment section. I will respond to it. But you are wrong in saying that she doesn't deserve the opportunity. Now, if anybody gets the opportunity, regardless if male or female, and then they don't show up to the occasion, then okay, we gave you the opportunity. We gave you a fair chance. Your skill level is just not there as of yet. Now, will you get it there? We don't know. But we gave you the chance to see now. Maybe we'll see later. But that's not even being done. And even in the right so, not even equally so between man and woman. And that's another reason why you probably should clue into XE, okay? Because XE by far in motorsports has shown the world what it is to be completely diverse and include male and female equally in the team. You have to have a female, you have to have a male on the team. They both switch out, so it's not like the teams can say, you know what, we're going to give him more time. No, we're going to give her more time. They have a switch. It's an awesome concept. You need to watch it and check it out. Also, I would give credit out to Nara for the drag racing. We've seen the Force girls, and they got their opportunity regardless if it was by way of John Force, because he is a great in the sport, and therefore they didn't want to deny this opportunity. Those women have earned their spot, they've earned their respect, and they've proven that they can beat the best and be the best in that sport. So I don't want to hear anybody talking about a woman can't drive a Formula One car. Stop the shit. Just cut it out. It's shenanigans. It is shenanigans. Like, you should think about it. And I've seen people that literally told me they have daughters, and this is your thought process. So that means to tell me that you have a daughter and you're going to put a ceiling so close to her head by telling her you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's only because you're a girl. Come on. You need to really think about, you might need help. You might need to go see somebody. You might need some counseling. Maybe somebody told you in the past that you wasn't going to be crap, and so now you're handing it down. But do not handicap kids like that. Do not handicap anybody like that. Do not judge a book by its cover. And I always tell you all more often, and so often I tell you, character over color and people over politics all the damn time. You'll be more right than you will be wrong if you live like that. Treat everybody like you want to be treated. But yes, Antonio Giovinazzi, this is how he's showing up to the grid. This is why people cannot legitimize to me that women do not need or deserve an opportunity if they've been racing and they're coming up through the ranks, rightfully so. Dude went to Formula E because he wasn't good enough in Formula One. He was with Alfa Romeo before Joe came in. He wasn't good enough. Galacticus, I see you and Ricardo Boots versus Drip race hot. Man, listen, Ricardo Boots was silly, but Lawrence's Boots was like on a whole nother level. But still, I had the best shoes. So Ricardo lost the shoe drip game to me. And Lawrence, we didn't even compete, but I talked to him. I got a picture with him, but his boots were swaggish. Like, don't get it twisted. Lawrence's boots was on point, bro. So Galacticus, let me give you your dab for that. But yeah, so I'm just saying, Giovinazzi's coming back like this. That's not awesome. You know, that's not awesome. Man, I know people are like, well, he's just getting back in. Yeah, okay, well, that's my point. He's just getting back in, and this is what he's doing. So if you're letting him do that and you're saying it's just him getting back in, then why can't you say, hey, Jamie, it's just her getting used to a Formula One car? That's what I'm saying. There's a double standard, and that's why I can't respect the double standard. So let's move on. We're going to get into this next situation. Texas updates, yes. Mercedes right now has had updates. So there are not a lot of updates, okay? There's only 3 out of 7 teams that have really at least logged or managed to put on books updates. So we got Mercedes first. So they did the front wing, which we're going to get into because that definitely caused a hornet's nest, but still, even the cost cap situation dampened that hornet's nest on that. But we'll get into that and the reason why I think they brought that out the way they did. We got the floor edge, the floor fence, as you see here. And then we got the rear wing end plate, which was another area. And there you got the floor edge, a little change up down there. We also had Alpine come up with some changes, and they did some winglets to the bottom edge of their floor. Alpine, as you see, I will post the image. I had an image with the Alpine car, and it definitely matched my drip, but you know, that was like totally coincidental. It was not intentional. It just so happened to be lined up and perfect. So definitely a nice, I've told you all from the beginning when the color scheme came out for Alpine and they brought out the pink, because I'm a big component and big supporter of breast cancer awareness period, and the fight against domestic violence. And that is what I will be representing today more, because I've been doing the breast cancer. Today I'm going to wear colors as my support against domestic violence, and that's going to be the purple. So I will be purple dripped out against that. Remember, treat everybody, respect, love people. Hitting somebody is not love. So if you got somebody that may be going through those situations, open up an ear, lend a shoulder. People need to be heard, and people really do want to talk. It's just sometimes they don't know how they're going to be viewed by their peers or and our family members, and it can be rough. So open your ears, put your shoulder out. But yes, Alpine comes up with some updates, just wingly to the bottom four. And then we had Alfa Romeo. They did leading edge of the floor, additional cutouts. And the floor has been re-optimized around the front wing area. Now, a lot of things that Mercedes has done is outwashing and trying to get airflow around these tires. I think all of us pretty much knew, our majority of us pretty much knew when we saw the slim down side pod. My first initial concern was, how was the airflow going to be going into the rear tire section? Was that going to cause a bunch of turbulence that wasn't going to be beneficial? Was it going to disturb the outwash and the flow for the car behind, because they wanted to clean that air up to make for better following and chasing? How was the limited side pods? People say no side pods. There evidently is a side pod there. It's a limited side pod. It's a slim down side pod, but it is a side pod. And I know a lot of us are wondering, is Mercedes going to abandon this design next season? Is this something that they're going to decide that we can't go forward with it? I think we've reached it. Oh, wait a minute, Galacticus, I got you. Chadwick needs at least 4 drives in F1, P1, P2. Galacticus, I fully agree. I do agree on that. More so than that, I agree that definitely they need to get her in for the testing, okay? Because you got to remember, the points in W Series for the super license aren't like the points you're going to get for Indy and Formula One. Okay, so those points are different, but she can still accumulate points by doing, I think it's like 300 kilometers, or is something like a distance or a certain range. If she gets these opportunities in a Formula One car, it will contribute towards super licenses for anybody. In Colton Herter, as we know that Red Bull was trying to segue him into AlphaTauri by way of smudging the numbers for the super license, and that was a debacle in the situation. Inevitably, it didn't end up happening, but it could have happened. But that was the situation with him. And of course, they missed the season due to COVID and everything else, and maybe he could have accumulated some more points in that point in time, but it didn't happen. And that didn't happen for a lot of people. So it's not like they could have justified that as a reason for Colton and then not justify it as a reason for the rest of the sport and drivers participating that were active in that sport. So yeah, but this is still something that could contribute and help her towards her way getting there. It's just that teams need to open the door for her to be able to do it. And that's something that I don't think is being done on the scale that it should be being done on. And it's something that needs a little bit more attention to, okay? And like I said, we're going to get into this. We saw Antonio. We know that was horrible. That's not anything. Let's talk about this Merc front wing, okay? This furniture, the outwash. Now, there was a situation, and don't quote me, but I want to say it was Shanghai 2019 or maybe 28, it was some time ago. Mercedes made some changes to the front wing, and there was a controversy about that. But we've seen several times Mercedes has been innovative, and then teams launch protests or contests, maybe because they can't develop the technology themselves. It will put them too far behind the power curve, and maybe they don't think they can make that bend in time. So then, of course, the thing is protest instead of duplicate. But if they feel like they're close enough to maybe do something, they duplicate instead of protest, right? Mary, Beanie, Jay, they trainers are so sweet. Give Jamie a chance. Facts. Facts. I'm telling you, they should give Jamie a chance, Mary. They really should. We got another one right here. Who we got? Galacticus. I think distance was removed from the super license. It's about finishing. You're right. It's about finishing. Where you finish. So like in Indy, I think it's the top 4 get points, or the top 3 gets points. So yeah, it's about finishing. But I don't completely know if, yeah, it might be. It might be. Distance might be removed. That might have been like 2016. And then after they changed it 2016, they removed distance and it was about finishing in your race. So Galacticus, big shout out to you for that. So yeah, and then moving into this wing. So the outwash furniture, it was a situation then, and now it comes back. But Sean, please hit those likes. Sean, thank you very much. Yes, we have plenty of people that come in here and listen to our content and they dip out and they don't hit like. And I tell you all the time, that's like coming to my house. You don't wipe your feet on the carpet. You go in my refrigerator, grab yourself a drink, and then you sit on the favorite spot in my couch. Don't do that. Don't come into somebody's house disrespectful. Just make sure you come in and hit the like button. It doesn't cost you a thing to hit like. If you're here for more than 30 seconds, hit like. All right. If you want to hit like and go out, that's fine. If you came in, you didn't like the food, and you say, I'm going to go to another spot, at least you came in, took your shoes off, and said hello to everybody. And by the way, we do have some new family members, and I'm going to make a new family member post. Ernie Simmons, congratulations, 5 months. Wolfpack family members, remember, when you reach your 6-month period that you've been 6 months long family member in the Wolfpack, I will get with you and send you out a Wolves Den t-shirt. I have not even showed this shirt because nobody's gotten it yet. So as soon as we have some people that reach 6 months mark, I will show you the shirt. It's going to be a nice, clean, simple design, but it will be sent out to you. No charge of shipping. It's going to come out to you as my appreciation for you being in the family for this long and supporting the channel this long. So congratulations, Ernie Simmons. He's almost there. As you see, he's at his 5-month mark. Red Bull rumored to have 25% reduction in R&D. That is something that has been rumored, but I don't think that's enough. And we're going to get into that. So next person we got up, next super chat, Anime Tanny. Now, was almost going to be down here when I was giving away the Formula 3-day pass. Smart Sheets and McLaren blessed me with a paddock opportunity. So I took my 3-day pass that I paid $400 for, and I gave it away to somebody who wasn't going to be able to be at the race, and that was a good thing. It was like a chase the wolf pack down. I was giving my locations as I was traveling to Austin, and somebody caught up with me, and that was a beautiful thing. But Nall says, let me get Sean. I got you, Sean. Nall says, hi, Jay. Do you feel any tension around the paddock? Are teams annoyed? I don't feel it. I just am aware of it. You can tell by the way things are moving. You even saw Brundle making reports on it. Red Bull are getting several questions about it. The tension is there because teams, even like us, are waiting to hear what the outcome is going to be. And that's what the FIA needs to be aware of. And I'm pretty sure they are aware of it. But now they've been aware of a lot of things and still done the wrong things in our eyes and in many people's eyes. The thing is this. There is more good to be done than bad if they make a certain decision. Okay. And that is definitely something we're going to talk about when I bring up this next image, Nall. So big shout out to you. Nall is definitely heavyweight. She VIP tier 2. Sylvia's tier 2 and Massacre's tier 2. Nall, big ups to you. Let me give you your flowers for the super chat first. Boom. And then we got somebody else, but I'm going to go into that on another picture. I'm about to be late for breakfast, but I'm going to spend some more time with you all. There's a range I can be there in, and I'll make sure I'm there, and they'll understand. Like, we still got to do content. Wolfpack still got to do content. He can't just be gone for the whole day. We can't take him out of the Wolves Den and he'll be gone. Wildcat, big shout out to you. Boy, I got that smoke this weekend for Cota. Qualified top 28%. I'm the world with 1.36, still got a league leader. But my fastest lap is 1.35, 135. So you know I'm about to show the world how fast the Wolfpack fam is. Wildcat, bro, if you're in Texas and Cota, I know my schedule's crazy and I might not be there, but I'm going to be there today for FP3 qualifying, and I'm going to be on the paddock and pit lane. If you're somewhere in the vicinity, man, just reach out to me. Matter of fact, do this. Reach out to me via DM and let's see if we can work out a better communication link so we can be like more in real time. But big shout out to Wildcat. I'm wishing you the best, man. Showing what's up with the Wolfpack. And also, man, I need to get with you because if you have a helmet, a suit or something, we need to get you a Wolfpack logo, bro. And I'll pass you one down and you can get that on, man. So big ups to you for that. But definitely try to get with me on one of the platforms, Twitter, IG, so we can have some communication in real time and maybe I can link up with you. Blue Diva, funny how Red Bull and the FIA are dodging interviews. It ain't funny. It's damn right ridiculous. It's damn right ridiculous. And that's when you know everything ain't on the up and people trying to work around things. It's damn right ridiculous, honestly. And some of these takes are ridiculous as well. And matter of fact, I'm going to post that. I'm going to show you that picture I saw. Matter of fact, we'll get to that right now since I got through all the super chats, and big shout out to you all for doing the super chats and supporting the channel. Here we go. Here's an actual picture as I'm walking the paddock. I happen to be walking past, and who do I see? Perez and Max Verstappen getting interviewed on several other topics, right? And this is a thing. And like Nall was saying, is there pressure? There is definitely some tension there, and rightfully so. Okay, rightfully so. So let's just think about this. If the FIA decide that 2021 they breached, okay, now I've heard figures, and I'm not gonna divulge those figures on this channel, rightfully so. I'm completely about respecting the content and respecting my relationship with not only Smart Sheets, McLaren, Formula One, because there has to be a respect there. I can have my perspective, but there's a professional respect there, and we've heard all kind of figures, and so I'm not going to throw figures out. What I will tell you is this: all the figures you've heard, this is the one thing you need to be concerned about. Breach. Did they breach? It doesn't matter if it was by $2, $1,000, $1,000,000, $7 million, 7.25 million, 10 million. If you breached, there should be a penalty. And that's what it says, a breach. This minimum, major, and minor, these things right here add in gray areas for people to do things that they shouldn't be doing. They add in gray areas for people to not penalize teams as they should be penalized. These give people excuses to not do the right thing, and I think that needs to be removed. It just needs to be breach. It doesn't need to be minor or major. You went over. We gave you a certain allotted amount of money that you were only supposed to spend rightfully in competition, and you took the advantage and went over that in comparison to your competitors. So you're going to have to pay the price for that. And these prices, this penalty is constructor points, driver championship points, penalize you for the air chamber points. All of these things need to be, this is what you're indicted, this is what you're guilty of, and these are the prices you're going to pay. And so there is an attention there because teams are going to want to know, just like we've seen from Mercedes. And I think that's why Mercedes bought this front wing out. I think Mercedes knew it was going to cause a hysteria. I think they knew it was going to bring attention. It's set right there on the stand. I don't think it ever got on the car, but people looked at it, and I think Mercedes is saying that had we known that you could get a slap on the wrist potentially for breaching the cost cap, we would have developed and developed and developed as we have in the past to continue to be the dominant and best team we can be until somebody could outdevelop us and outperform us on track. But you put a cost cap in place, and all the teams have went according to it. Now, we're not throwing Williams in there because Williams was a procedural breach. They didn't turn it, their auditing department didn't turn their documents in time. They got a 25,000 pound fine. That happened. We have Aston Martin, which is on the breach too, but that also is procedural. This is not money. Red Bull, therefore, right now is the only team that is found of breaching the cost cap when it comes to minor or major overspend. There needs to be a penalty for that. And if they don't penalize, teams like this are going to say, okay, well, then guess what? If you gave them a slap on the wrist, my pockets are deep too. My development team is crazy too. They can do a lot of great things that we would have done, and we're going to do them. If the only thing that you're going to do is give us a slap on the wrist if we breach the cost cap, that's worth it. You're not going to dock us championship points? Cool. You're not going to dock us constructor championship points? Cool. We can accept that. And that's the situation that you have before you. These are the things that the FIA are going to have to heavily consider. Because if they do it this time, right, and then a team breaches next season, and then they dock that team championship or driver or constructor points, now there's going to be more than an uproar. There's going to be, in Texas, as we say, a shitstorm. All right? There's going to be a shitstorm, a brewing, period. You don't want to do it. And I tell you this, Zach Brown already spoke to it. Ferrari already spoke to it. These teams are starting to speak up about what they're looking for the FIA to do. Not just us as spectators, just not us as viewers. Teams are there. Why? Because they're the ones competing. They're the ones driving. They're the ones spending countless hours in rooms trying to develop strategies. Their team spending countless hours trying to develop pit stop. Their team spending countless hours trying to develop the car, trying to put it together, the drivers. So you don't think that they take that personal? Hell yeah, they take that personal. Because they're saying I could have been better than I was, but I wasn't because you had a cap on me. But this team went over the cap to be the best that they can be on the grid, and now you just slapped them on the wrist. No, it's not going to fly. It's not going to fly, and that's why there's a tension that is amongst them as peers. And that's why Red Bull might be looking a little funny and teams looking a little funny at them because they're looking like, yeah, you looking real suspect right now on us, buddy. You're looking real suspect. So these are the things that are happening. I'm not going to even say it's unfortunate that they're happening right now. I don't even think it's unfortunate. I think that it is fortunate because I think that these teams need to get more together. And like Zach's idea, what's better for the sport, not right now for my team. And if we had also that thought process out here in the world would be the better place, and the sport of Formula One would be a better sport. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what takes place today. Qualifying's happy. You know, I always say Q3 is where they push the chips to the metal. We're gonna see where teams really are. We're gonna see if these updates will indeed manifest into upgrades. Right? An update is a change, and it's not an upgrade unless it yields a positive result. And I talked like that. I talked about that last night too. So we're going to see if what Mercedes has done is going to give them some extra performance in qualifying and actually in the race. I do discount practice. I do discount um, Q1, Q2 a little bit. I count Q3 a bit more, and I count the race full heartedly. And just because you see certain pace in practice and qualifying, you may not really realize that pace in real race scenarios. And that's all a part of development and learning. No, I mean, Tenny, she says, everyone, let me read this. Nall says everyone is scared of a soda company. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. A soda company. I need the engine manufacturers on the paddock to start threatening to take their engines on vacay. Nall makes a very critical point, you all. Nall, that's a big point, right? So then there goes the dynamic that Nall is speaking to about leverage. What happens if McLaren? What happens if Mercedes? What happens if Aston Martin, Alpine, the manufacturers on the grid, the real true manufacturers, okay? We got Alpine with the Renault, we got Mercedes with Mercedes, we got Ferrari with Ferrari, and we have McLaren with the Mercedes power unit. What happens if these teams say, you know what? We're done with that. And until you get it right, we'll be back. So we're going to threaten to take our team off of the grid, and you can work it out. I mean, Audi and Porsche is not even in right now. It's talks of it, but they're not even committed. And Audi ain't even on the grid yet with the Sauber chassis. So, yeah, she's talking about teams utilizing their leverage to let the FIA know this is what we want and this is what you need to do. Similar to like kind of Roger Goodell and NFL, like those owners kind of do their own thing. Roger can suggest, but if Roger gets pushback from the teams, he's got to look out at what's best for the entire NFL league. And those teams add a lot of pressure and have a lot of leverage because of what they contribute to the sport. So Nall makes a very good point on that. Then we're going to come down to Mary Beanie. She says the team principles, PC, will be interesting today. You are exactly right, Mary. It will be interesting today. It's going to be very interesting. So we're going to see how that also turns out, right? Because that's something else that we're looking for. Did somebody else? I got you. I'm not going to miss your super chat. I see you. I got you. Galacticus is after Mary. Yeah, Galacticus. What's going on? Porsche and F1, they have unlimited money, so F the cap. And that, okay, that's another thing, right? We're trying to see how Porsche is going to come in to F1, right? And if they do come in, they're going to have a big bankroll. We already seen the GT3 RS, the GT4. Like, these are wonderful performance-inspired cars. And we know the bank that they bring with the Volkswagen family. So, yeah, they could say F the cap. If you're going to do a slap on the wrist, Audi and Porsche might very well have a 5-year plan where they can damn be competing for a championship. Straight up. Like, no bullshit. This could be a real situation. Mr. J, at the end of the day, 10 teams agreed to the cost cap. Cool. One went over. That team needs to be punished, and the punishment should be send the message that won't be tolerated. End of story. There we go with another valid super chat and another valid point. Mr. J, right. Now that is true, right? You had 10 teams going to an agreement. Now, it's funny, right? Everything matters about a meeting and an agreement until it's Red Bull and the cost cap. In Abu Dhabi, everybody wants to yell, well, they had a meeting before the race that they weren't going to end the race under a safety car. Okay, well, that wasn't right, and that was wrong, and now here we are with the cost cap, and they had a meeting about that. So where are all these meeting people that are glorious about meetings being regulations and standards for some reason? They had a meeting. They all agreed to a financial mark, and somebody has went over that mark. So somebody's lied, somebody's defied, somebody's just straight blatantly damn infiltrated the situation and are rebelled on what they were going to do, and they've received benefits because of it. Yeah, 9 teams need to stand up and be like, hell no, we're not letting that go. That's just straight up. That's exactly what they need to do. They need to step up and say to the FIA that, hey, if you're not going to do the right thing, you know what? We'll take not only our team, we'll take our audience, we'll take our fan base, we'll take our presence, we'll take our engines, and you know what? We'll dip. We'll dip. You know, we can get into something else. Wildcat says it's only sim racing, but still has a pro level that's directly back to F1T. Yo, Wildcat, listen. No, and anybody here understand this. What Wildcat is doing is leading the way in esports as far as motorsports. I literally had a conversation with somebody who develops the software that pulls the data for Wildcat and other racers and teams to use to better themselves. And I'm going to try to get them on an episode of the Performance Talk podcast so I can show you all of that, because they showed me some awesome information on how they were pulling. So big shout out to you, Wildcat. Matter of fact, do this. When you actually finish your race and you get your place, send me a picture so I can post it on the community thread and shout you out. We got to support everybody. And he's doing something in e-racing. Hamilton's brother, and he does e-racing, so we're not going to discount Wildcat. So when you finish, show me your position, send me a picture, and I'll post it on the community post. Gregory Williams, let me see. I got your super chat, sir. Let me get you read up. Didn't Ross Braun say the new rules had teeth? Yeah, Ross Braun did say that, didn't he, Gregory? He did say that. You know what, Gregory? Hold on. I'll do you one better. I will do you one, Greg. I will do you one better, Gregory. Just give me 1 second to give you your props, and I'm going to do you one better. What Gregory is talking about is factual. Somebody named Ross Braun, actually, it was Ross Braun, said something. And he said something along the lines that the cost cap has teeth, right? And I'm going to see if I can find that cue up. If I got it here for you all. Yep, right here.
This has teeth. If you fraudulently breach the financial regulations, you will be losing your championship.
That was Ross Braun. That's what he said. He said the cost cap would have teeth, and if teams breach, it will cost them championships. That is what he said. And we are yet to see that. Ross Braun is yet to show us that what he said is actually what he meant. And right now, that's not equaling up or adding up. So, listen, I really appreciate y'all for showing up. I literally have to make it down here for the team breakfast. I got to get myself ready. You already know I got to take, my medication, get my body straight. I've been up since 4 a.m. getting ready. So that's like 4 a.m. till now is like literally, that's 5 hours of me having to get myself ready in order to go out and enjoy a full day, just to try to enjoy and not be uncomfortable. So I just want to make sure I set aside some time for you all. So I got up a little earlier so I could get on here live with you all and share some things and do what we usually do. So we won't have the quality kickback today like traditionally. What I might do is come back later tonight, depending on what time I get back, and go live and just talk about what I did or what happened at qualifying. Like I said, I'll try to get some content. Some areas are very sensitive than others. So, you got to respect that. And we'll go from there. And I just really appreciate everybody supporting the channel. I appreciate everybody sending out positive vibes. I appreciate everybody at least enjoying me sharing my experiences while I'm here. I want to send a special big shout out and thanks to Smart Sheets. A special and big shout out thanks to McLaren. A special and big shout out to the Hidden Genius Project. And shout out to Corey Tutt at the Deadly Science. Just shout out to them doing some awesome things. They're a part of some wonderful things that are going forward in Formula One. So don't think this is going to be the last time. You're going to see plenty of things developing in Wolfpack Performance, and this platform might be part of it. So keep your eyes out, keep your ears open, keep your head up, stay positive. I'm going to see y'all soon, all right? Peace and love. I will be posting in my short section some live little clips and videos of what I'm doing, as well as pictures if I get with other drivers and or commentators. So big shout out to you all. I'm gonna see y'all soon. Peace and love. Honey buns for everybody. French toast. I don't know if I'm gonna get it tomorrow. I gotta see if the hotel makes French toast. It's a lovely, beautiful hotel. I don't know if they make J Wolfpack French toast, but if they do make French toast, I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna take up. Well, actually, I won't because I'll be at the race. So I'll see if the Paddock Club makes French toast, and if they have French toast, I'll get it there. How about that? We'll do that. So, all right, peace and love to everybody. I gotta go. I'm enjoying my day. I'm gonna try to share my day with you. You all are awesome. Remember, open your ears, lend a shoulder, and don't forget, treat people like you want to be treated, and don't stop giving when you get. Peace.